Yeah. So once again, peace be to all. And the classes is back, man. Hopefully I'll have a good spirit tomorrow, that I'll be able to do a class and be able to keep pushing. Things are not going to be easy, but if you're a warrior, you got to get ready to fight. You got to get ready to fight. Right? So there's many different topics out there. There's many different topics out there to talk about biblical wise. But you have to study the Bible, man. You have to go in. You have to study. All right? So what I want to do today is I want to go into Apocrypha, and I want to go into Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. I want to go into Ecclesiastes, right? The 44th chapter. I want to start that in Ecclesiastes, the 44th chapter in the Apocrypha. And, it says, let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. So, today, as I was in the gym, and even later on in the park before I came here, I was talking to many different people, and see what is their take about the Bible and things like that. And they have a belief in the Bible, but they don't really know the Bible, man. That's why you have to sit down and you see the discrepancies, you see the inconsistencies, you see the misunderstandings of people that really do not know the Bible. But yet they're speaking about it. They're speaking about Palestine and the different wars that are going on there now. They don't understand how these things came into existence. They're talking about things from a Christian point of view. So that's why the Lord said, you must study to show thyself approved, man. You have to study history, because these things affect your world today. Laws and rules and regulations and policies are made by white politicians in Washington for Israel based off of money, based off of your money that you put in your tax hard-earned dollars for, and they reroute it to Israel. So you have to study. Okay? You have to get into this book if you really want to know what's going on. So it says, let us now praise in Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, right? In the Apocrypha, the 44th chapter. It says, now let us praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. So a lot of us believe that we're African American. We're not African American. Okay? These are titles that are given to us by our slave masters. The names like my government name, Lester Samuel, and all that. You understand? These are slave master names. The Lord have wrought great glory by them through his great power be from the beginning. Such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding and declaring prophecies. See that? So we had great forefathers, man. Not Mansa Musa, not these African kingdom fathers. That's them. I don't have no problem with them. They're just not my people. They're just not my people. Leaders of the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of learning, meet means right for the people, wise and eloquent in their instructions. So the Lord blessed me to learn the Bible, and today I was in the park with a brother, two brothers actually, grown men, and I was giving them instruction, wise and eloquent instruction based upon the scriptures, showing them what they said was wrong and what the Bible said is correct. Okay, one of them spoke about the Quran and putting the Quran with the Bible. And I said, no, that's not the way it's supposed to go. You can't put the Quran with the Bible, right? Wise and eloquent in their instruction, such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing. Rich men furnished with ability, living peaceable in their habitations. All these were honored in their generations and with the glory of their times. There be of them that have left a name behind them, that their praises might be reported. And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished, and as though they have never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. But these are merciful men, whose righteousness have not been forgotten. See that? The Lord ain't going to forget you. Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their name liveth forevermore. The people will tell of their wisdom, and the congregation will show forth their praise. Enoch praised the Lord, and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations. See, Enoch never saw death. Enoch was one of 3 people that never saw death. Okay? No, 2 people that never saw death, right? That went straight. Now, Christ rose from the dead, right? But Enoch and Elijah never saw death. So just remember that. Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations. Noah was found perfect and righteous. In the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. Therefore was he left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. An everlasting covenant was made with him, and all flesh should perish no more by the flood. See that? So now you understand, when you see a rainbow anywhere, no flesh shall perish by water anymore of a major calamity where it's going to climb all the way up to the mountains. No flesh is going to, that's never going to happen anymore. That's never going to happen anymore. Okay? Abraham was a great father unto many people, and in glory there was none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High, and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore he assured him by an oath that he should bless the nations in his seed of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea, and from the river unto the utmost part of the land. With Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sakes the blessing of all men and the covenant, and made it rest upon the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him in his blessing, and gave him an heritage, and divided his portions among the 12 tribes did he part them. See that? So you got to read the book so you can gain understanding. You have to read the book so you can gain understanding. Let's further move on. So this is Ecclesiastes. Let's further move on. And he brought him out a merciful man, which found favor in the sight of all flesh, even Moses, beloved of the Lord and men, whose memorial is blessed. He made him like to the glorious saints. Okay? And magnified him, so that his enemies stood in fear of him. And by his words he caused the wonders to cease. And he made him glorious in the sight of kings, and gave him a commandment for his people, and showed him part of his glory. So that's the Most High now going back to Exodus. So even though it's being talked about in Ecclesiastes, that's the Most High going back to Exodus. He sanctified him in his faithfulness and meekness, and chose him out of all men. See that? And he made him to hear his voice, and brought him into the dark cloud, and gave him commandments before his face, even the law of fire, of life and knowledge, that he might teach Jacob his covenants, and Israel his judgments. He exalted Aaron, an holy man like unto him, even his brother of the tribe of Levi. An everlasting covenant he made with him, and gave him this priesthood among the people. He beautified him with comely ornaments and clothed him with a robe of glory. So that's what you're going back to. You're going back to the rulership, and you're going to be clothed with robes of glory. And I'm going to show you that in Isaiah. So you, the nation of Israel, you're going to be clothed, man, with glory. The Lord is going to give you glory. You can't attain glory for yourself. You can't attain glory for yourself. He put upon him perfect glory. The Most High put upon him perfect glory. So you want perfect glory. And strengthen him with rich garments, with breeches and a long robe and the ephod. And he compassed him with pomegranates and with golden bells round about, that as he went, there might be a sound and a noise made that might be heard in the temple, for a memorial to the children of his people. So that's the Lord doing that. That's the Lord doing that. You can't do it for yourself. You can't make your own stuff. The Lord is doing that. So that's what the Lord is saying. When he takes us back, or whoever goes back, that's what he's going to give you. With an holy garment with gold and blue silk and purple, the work of the embroider, and a breastplate of judgment, and with the Urim and the Thummim, and with twisted scarlet, the work of a cunning workman, with precious stones graven like seals, and set in gold, the work of the jeweler, with a writing engraved for a memorial after the number of the tribes of Israel. So I was talking to a brother today that he said he knew the Bible, a Christian brother, not a problem. But when you talk to these people and you show them things, that is in opposition to what they believe in, it becomes a major problem. It becomes a major problem. So when I was showing the brother this, he was really uptight. Okay? Listen to this well. He said a crown of gold upon the mitri. See, a mitri is our turban, our head wrap that we wear. And the headpiece has a split in the middle. So this was set upon us. And that's what we wore. We didn't wear hats. Matter of fact, let me show you where hats came from. Let's go into Maccabees, right? Let's go into Maccabees. Let me show you where hats came from. So all these hats you like to wear now, caps and all that, you know, there's a place. If you go into 2 Maccabees, the 4th chapter, right? 2 Maccabees, the 4th chapter, that's why you got to study. I'm going to start at the 9th verse. Let's see where all these hats came from. They're not of us. They're of the heathen, the Greeks, the so-called white man. So all your little baseball hats, your fedoras, your crowns, you know, your Kangos, we used to wear that. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? 2 Maccabees, the 4th chapter and the 9th verse. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place of exercise. So what is a place of exercise? A gymnasium. Where do I go? To a gymnasium. Where do I work out? A gymnasium. Where do I train? A gymnasium. Who set this up? The Greeks. The Greeks set this up. Israel didn't deal in sports and all these different things. And for the training of the youth in the fashion of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus, which when the king had granted, he had gotten into his hand to rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion. To the Greekish fashion. So that's their custom. See, these clothes are their customs. They control this. They make this and we have to wear it. We don't have our own fashions. We don't even control the garment industry. We don't even control the garment industry. And the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Epilemius, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid, he took away. And putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law. See that? New customs, new traditions. So that's what we got now. We got new traditions. For he built gladly a place of exercise. See that? A place of exercise. So what do you have a place of exercise in New York? You got Blink Gym. You got Retro Gym. You got Planet Fitness. You got Equinox. You got this gym. You got Gold's Gym. You got that gym. You got LA Fitness, a place of exercise under the tower, and brought the chief young men under his subjection and made them wear a hat. 2 Maccabees, the 4th chapter and the 12th verse. So where did we get hats from that we wear now? That's the following of the heathen. The basic things that you do, being that you don't sit down and study, is the ways of the heathen. And now such was the height of Greek fashions. See that? Greek fashions. So Greeks are Europeans, Caucasians, so-called white people, Edomites in the Bible. And the increase of hedonistic manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that of godly wretch, and no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowances in the place of exercise, meaning you strip down nude. So when you go to the gym, you see all these men and women with just about no clothes on. You strip down nude. After the game of discus called them forth, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. So that's what you like. And that's what you do now. That's why you're now Democratic. That's why you Blood, you Crip. Those are Grecian things. That's why you in sororities. That's why you playing basketball, all these different things. You playing golf now. Those are Grecian things. Those are not our things. So you like, after the game of discus called them forth, not setting by the honors of their fathers. So what is the honors of your fathers? I just broke it down to you. I just broke it down to you. What is the honors of your fathers? Men of great understanding and sagacity and wisdom, by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly. So look at us now. We follow the ways of the heathen so earnestly. You got young women now with green hair. You know, all day long I'm walking around. I'm seeing young sisters with green hair, red hair, blue hair, purple hair, orange hair, and they walking like they proud of that. Like they proud. These are the ways of the heathen. You went and bought wigs and weaves from other nations, other people here. whose customs they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. So we desire to be like them. We talk like them. We walk like them. We do exactly whatever they say to do. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Father, but the time following shall declare these things. Now when the game that was used every 5th year was kept at Tyrus, the king being present. What game was kept every 4 years? The Olympics. See that? So here in the Apocrypha, they're breaking down history for you to see where the things that you follow of the heathen, that you now live, you dedicating your whole mind. In 4 years from now, I'm going to be in the Olympics, and I'm going to represent the United States, or I'm going to represent Trinidad or the Jamaican bobsled team. See that? But when the game that was used every 5th year, that was back then, now it's 4 years, was kept at Tyrus, the king being present. Okay? So you got to see how the heathen has influenced you. So let's come back. Let's come back to Ecclesiastes now, 45th chapter. He said, "45th chapter, I'm going to start at 12 again. So when you was great, he set a crown of gold upon your mitre, which wherein was engraved holiness, an ornament of honor, a costly work, the desires of the eyes, goodly and beautiful." So we wasn't looking like no bum. See, this is bum clothes, man. "Before him there was none such, neither did ever any stranger put them on, but only his children and his children's children perpetually. Their sacrifices shall be wholly consumed every day twice continually. Moses consecrated him and anointed him with the holy oil. This was appointed unto him for an everlasting covenant, and to his seed, as long as the heavens shall remain, that they should minister unto him and execute the office of the priesthood, and bless the people in his name. He chose him out of all men living to offer sacrifices to the Lord, incense, and a sweet savor for a memorial, to make reconciliation unto his people. He gave unto him commandments and authority in the statutes of judgments, that he should teach Jacob the testimonies, and inform Israel in his laws. Strangers, the other nations, conspired together against him, and maligned him in the wilderness, even the men that were of Dathan and Abiram's side, and the congregation of Kor, with fury and wrath." So these were sellout Israelites, okay? Just like there's sellout Israelites today that will sell you out straight under the river. "This the Lord saw, and it displeased him, and in his wrathful indignation were they consumed. He did wonders upon them to consume them with the fiery flame. He made Aaron more honorable, and gave him an heritage, and divided unto him the first fruits of the increase. Especially he prepared bread in an abundance." So that's how what was called tithes was set up for the priests of the tribe of Levi. "The third in glory is Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, because he had zeal in the fear of the Lord, and stood with great courage of heart when the people were turned back, and made reconciliation for Israel. Therefore was there a covenant of peace made with him, that he should be the chief of the sanctuary of his people, and that he and his posterity should have the dignity of the priesthood forever, according to the covenant made with David, son of Jesse, of the tribe of Judah, that the inheritance of the king should be to his posterity of the loan, so the inheritance of Aaron should also be to his seed. The Lord give you wisdom in your heart to judge his people in righteousness, that good things should not be abolished, and that their glory may endure forever. Okay? So, just reading to you, you got to start back reading, man. Read and see. Put yourself into the stories. These are your stories. These are not the other nations' stories. These are not white people's stories. Okay? Even though they put their images in the book and now you turned away, those are your forefathers' stories of what your forefathers did. Okay? So tomorrow night, Lord bless, I will be on again. You know, we go back and we'll start picking it up. With that, I say peace.